Hey guys, it's Adam aka Swimming Bird, and welcome to the new snapshot update for Minecraft 1.9. This is 15W, who cares? We are flying. At long last and without mods, we are now finally able to glide through the air in vanilla survival Minecraft using a new special piece of gear. It is really fun to do, and it's very useful for getting around, as you would expect. So we're going to cover everything there is to know about this rare loot, and then we'll also talk about another popular update that's a long time in the works as well. So how am I flying around? Well, it's not this big dragon head, although it is found in a similar spot. It's this new item here in my chest slot. It's called Elytra. And if you don't know what that word means, that's okay. I did not either. Unless you're a budding entomologist, you probably don't know what it means. It's actually those little mock wings that you find on some insects like beetles and ladybugs, and it's there to protect their normal wings. It lifts up so that they can fly with their wings underneath. But in Minecraft, we can't actually fly. It's more like falling with style. These things don't flap. They actually just kind of allow us to glide through the air, and it's very similar to a hang glider, or its big influence, you might already have guessed, was the wing cap from Super Mario 64. Jeb based it off of that, and you kind of dive down a bit and then pull up again. You'll get some height, but you got to have a lot of momentum and speed, or else your little guy is gonna start kicking around because they don't have momentum. The wings will pull in too. If you pull too far back, he'll start kicking, and then he'll fall down eventually. As long as you're only a few feet or a few blocks off the ground, you won't take fall damage though, so it's alright, you'll be safe. Now, how do you get these? You can actually find them in end ships. These replace the beacon that was in there originally in the earlier snapshots. They took that out. It was a little too easy to get a full beacon and a bunch of iron blocks and stuff. So the hopper, the iron blocks, the book, the beacon, all of that's gone, and in its place is an end frame with these weird little mysterious bug wings that we can now use to our advantage. And as you saw on the equipment screen, they do take up the chest plate slot, so you have to wear this instead of armor. And that's kind of a big trade-off. The armor, the chest plate, is the biggest piece of armor that you have in terms of bonuses. So you're gonna be a little more vulnerable if you're wearing this, but you will be able to jump and escape from a lot of danger. You'll start flying once you glide a few blocks down. So if I drop all the way down here, you can even nosedive, but don't do this when you're in survival because you will die. So if you try to jump off of somewhere, you have to fall a few blocks and then you'll start gliding, but that's not going to get you too far. You want to go up on a tree or on an extreme hill or mountain to get enough height to go pretty far, and you can travel for quite a while with these things. Now, if you have a cape, then the texture of the elytrum is going to look like your cape. That's not in the game yet, but it will be added in a future snapshot, so it's kind of cool. It'll help you look a little different if you do have that cape equipped. Now, if you're trying to fly, like I mentioned, if you pull back too far, your legs will kick, but it also just kind of lets you know if you're slowing down too much, like if you turn too sharp, things like that. You can kind of do like a weird little barrel roll, as you saw. There's a lot of weird tricks to this to make it really fun to watch someone flying around. I like to do it in third person, but you can do it in first person, and it's pretty scary because you're moving really fast. Let's go back up another 100 blocks or so. But yeah, first person is pretty cool to behold as well, to see yourself just flying around so quickly. And again, this is in survival, so this is the fastest way to travel now if you get a pair of these. So there's only one per end ship, as I mentioned. You're going to find them in that item frame, so people are probably going to fight over these. You have to, beat the dragon, find an end city, and be lucky enough to find one with an end ship if you're going to be able to get one of these. So they're going to be kind of rare, and they do actually take durability damage, so you got to be careful. You can see the ones that I'm wearing, they don't lose any in creative, but if we go into survival, then you see they start to take durability damage. They last a little over 7 minutes of flight time combined, and then they will break, and this is their broken texture there, you can see. Now, good thing is, you can repair them. I'm going to put on a pair of ones that are almost broken so you guys can see the scary thing that happens when they're about to break. So let's go up 100 blocks or so. We'll go into survival, but yeah, be careful because once they break, you will just plummet straight down and you will die from fall damage unless I can hit this river, but that's not going to happen. So yeah, you got to be careful, but when they do break, they don't disappear, they just look broken, and luckily you can repair them in an anvil with leather, and it only takes 4 pieces of leather to fully repair these guys back to full durability. Now, the only problem is levels. You have to keep using levels, and eventually it becomes too expensive. So I'm hoping they're going to fix that whole leveling to repair system, because eventually you will not be able to repair a single pair after a point, and it will just be unrepairable. But there's another way you can repair them as well. This one's a little sillier. You probably don't want to do this, but combining two in the crafting table is a free way to repair them, but you're also losing a pair, and with how rare these are, everyone's going to want them. If you've got a backup pair, you're probably going to want to keep that and have that, you know, somewhere hidden in case you lose these by dying or in lava or something like that. But yeah, they're really fun to use. At this point, you cannot actually go into blocks that are only one wide, but in the future, they have added that, and Jeb already showed it off in a little GIF, as you can see. So we'll be able to do some crazy aerodynamic feats of flying in the future snapshots. And you'll also take damage from hitting blocks horizontally if you're going too fast, so be careful about that. You don't want to like fly into a canyon and just, you know, run into something, or you're gonna splat and have your own unique death message there. But yeah, lots of little features to this. You can repair them though, so it's like you can use them for quite a while. Just you gotta use them sparingly though. Like most cool special items in Minecraft, if you use them too much, then they're gonna break and you won't have them. But you can put unbreaking on them. As you see, there's a glowy one here. I look really weird in my inventory when I'm flying. I'm like flipped upside down into my items. But yeah, there's an unbreaking enchantment you can put on it to keep them flying for longer, and also it looks cool when they're glowy like that with the little purple texture there. And Jeb's also going to add a little animation for when you sneak. Right now you kind of look like a turtle where your head goes under the wings. They really remind me of like a Mothman or some other monster. And that was something I was gonna mention, is that originally these had the dragon wing texture, and it kind of made sense a little bit. It was found in the end ship with the dragon head, so having it have a dragonish texture made kind of sense. Like, these are little mini dragon wings, but Jeb actually changed that so they're more bug-like now. And what I'm wondering is where are the weird little beetle bug monster guys that these wings came from? Because they've got to be out there somewhere, right? I really hope they get added to the game, because I'd love to see some weird monsters flying around with these on, even if this is like a rare thing. I guess my theory is probably the Enderman maybe destroyed all of them and used their wings as like trophies on their wall now, because we don't see them anymore, and their wings are kind of rare. So it's a delicacy in the Enderman shulker world. Anyways, but yeah, so they can be repaired and everything, but you do take fall damage and durability as you move around if you are like nosediving, so be careful. I kind of showed that before. We are in survival, so if like you just kind of nosedive, you're gonna take a ton of damage from falling down. So be careful how you fly. Most of the time, as long as you're, you know, not diving straight down, you won't take any fall damage when you land. You'll just kind of start running as soon as you hit the ground. So not too much to worry about there. If you do have an invisibility effect on you, these little wings, the Elytrum, will be invisible as well. So this is kind of a good stealth item if you want to go scouting in a factions battle or something. You could wear this instead of armor and then go in and be invisible, fly over. I even have a potion here, because you could just kind of fly over and start bombing by throwing those potions on the ground. I was in survival, so I only had one of them there, but you'll see it down here. There it is, poisoning the squid. So yeah, that is pretty much it for those little wings now. They're getting a lot of new features and different things added in the next snapshot, but they're really cool, and that was a promise for a while that we were going to get some way to fly in survival, and now we finally have it. So get out there and hunt for those when 1.9 comes out. They should be in hot demand. So one thing I did want to mention too before we get into the new boats, which are another welcome addition. Multiplayer, they have improved cheat detection, probably because now that we can fly around, they want to make sure people don't get kicked for flying, because we're gliding all over the place in 1.9. And they also changed how player movement is sent and processed by the server. I think that is to do with the wing, with the Elytrum, and also the boats, because boats had a lot of issues in the past with detecting where you were, and that was part of the reason why they broke so easily. But fear not, these are the new boats, and they are modeled after the ones from Pocket Edition and Windows 10 Edition, and these are so much better. You guys will see. So I'll show you. These are the 6 types of boats. There's one for each type of wood, and as you can tell, they now have paddles as well, and those paddles are going to be important. They're very different now. Also on the bottom, they have a nice little mossy texture like they've been in the water too long. You can see it on the birch one really well. They look like they're kind of molding over. Even when they're freshly crafted, they look like this, but that's a nice little detail. They're a bit more durable on the sides and stuff, as you can see. So this is how you craft a new boat. You'd make it like you would normally, but you put a shovel in there for the paddle. I guess they cut it in half to make the 2 oars. But it crafts one boat, and they have a new texture here. They all have little textures. Right now, we can't craft the other ones, but I'm assuming once that gets updated, we'll be able to get all the other types of wooden boats. But you can't, grab them out of creative right now. So these boats, they are quite a bit different. Now, first off, they are very durable. They won't just break from ramming into the side of something. They're pretty much like minecarts now, where you can just punch them, and they'll plop into the, if you're not in creative mode, they will plop into the little boats that just kind of drop there. You just have to break them a little bit like a minecart, and they will, there you go. You can grab it and take it. That's how I wish boats had been for so many years, but I think the developers are trying to stick to Notch's idea of the original boats, but luckily we are finally moving away from that, and now we can use these boats like we would minecarts. You can even ride on the shore with them, but they are very slow on land. So let me get this back into water here. So the way that this works is we actually control both of the paddles independently. So the button that you would push to go left will control the left paddle, and the one that you push to go right would control the right. And if you hold them down together, you will go forward. So you have to actually paddle with both paddles if you want to go straight. And here we go. We're in the water now, so we're going a lot faster. And Dinnerbone also mentioned these boats are a little slower, the new version, but they are going to speed up quite a bit in the future snapshots. So they're going to go faster than this. They're actually going to be faster than sprinting on land. They're going to be pretty quick, and they also don't cost any hunger. So if you want to steer, like I mentioned, it's pushing right will make you turn to the left, and pushing left will turn to the right. It's basically whatever direction you want to go, you want to not push down on that key because you're going to paddle the other oar. It's a little weird to get used to. It took me a bit. But yeah, just holding both down will go forward. Sprinting in your boat, pushing forward, pushing back doesn't do anything right now. But again, they're gonna speed up. And Dinnerbone mentioned that in the future we're gonna get a little update as well, where you can actually like rhythmically tap the paddles, and if you row at a good rhythm, you'll go a lot faster. So there can be things like boat races and then cool stuff like that. Let's go into third person so you guys can see that one paddle is freaking out. There we go. But yeah, we're gonna be able to have different boat races and stuff like that as well, because it'll take some skill to paddle these fast, but at the bare minimum, you'll be able to make them go sprinting speed. So they are gonna be faster than traveling on land, and a lot faster than they are right now. So yeah, these are the new boats, much more durable. Also, you probably noticed, it's not just people that get into boats. It's kind of like minecarts, where you can have any type of mob get in these little things, and they can ride around. You see there's a zombie over here. We got a little guardian. Everyone can go in a boat, and you can actually have 2 different things in a boat at a time. So let me, I've got some eggs here, so I can kind of throw down a few different things and get them to go into the boat. There we go. We got a zombie and another zombie, and now there's a little love nest of zombies rowing romantically through the jungle river. But yeah, you can have 2 creatures in the boat, or 2, mobs. So I could get into the boat with this pig and just, take him across ocean a lot easier, and then you just break the boat to let it out. So this is definitely a better way to transport things over the water. You don't have to risk, pulling them by a lead or something, and you can get mobs stuck in there for easy transportation. And there's some funny stuff with the boats as well, where I could put like a villager in this one boat, and then depending on where the zombie is, the zombies will actually attack. So let me grab another boat here and show you. So if I put a villager in this one boat and then have a zombie pop up as well and push him in the boat, he will hit the villager. He's giving him a nice back rub with that sword. And then now that they changed, they swap spots, so you can do weird stuff with this. I also noticed another glitch where if you, well, that's not a glitch, but this is kind of a glitch, where if you're paddling and you jump out with the shift key, it will keep paddling. So you can have some crazy parties here in the water by getting these guys spinning, and then leave the boat while you're holding that button down, and they'll just keep going. You can even kind of get them to look like they're moving forward if you hold down both paddles and then you jump out. And now it looks like he's paddling with his little spikes, or however he's trying to paddle. He doesn't have arms. But yeah, you can do a lot of weird little things. But overall, it's just a nice improvement to boats. They're much more durable. You can transport stuff in them. Lots of nice new features with these. And speaking of having things riding in boats, they have changed the way riding works. There used to be a riding tag when you summon stuff in on top of each other, but now there is the new passengers tag. So this is going to summon in a slime with a witch riding on top of it. So there's a little tag called passengers and also root vehicle. So if you want to stack stuff, this is going to be the new way of doing it. If you're a map maker or just someone who likes to spawn in weird abominations like this, there you go. It's supposed to be better than the previous system. It's going to mess up a lot of maps, unfortunately, but it's going to be better overall for trying to control things, mobs riding other mobs. Now that is actually pretty much it. The main features were the Elytrum and the new boats. I do want to mention, though, they did fix some things, like in the end, after it would stop generating after a certain amount if you're exploring the new end islands, trying to find those cities, and of course getting these new wings. But the outer islands would all be glitched as well after a certain amount of coordinates. They have fixed that. And then last but not least, in the snapshots, if you had a tamed cat in a chunk, it would reset the chunk. So now you don't have to worry about that. You can tame all the cats you want. But yeah, so lots of good stuff in this one. 2 big features we have been waiting a long time for, and I'm very happy with both of them. And they're also going to improve over the next few snapshots and stuff as well as we get closer to 1.9. Thank you guys for watching. As always, if you did enjoy the video and you want to leave a like, I definitely appreciate it. And if you want to subscribe, there's definitely more where this came from. The first person, or this third person's perspective is a little weird. That's why I gotta wear this dragon head so then I can see my eyes there. He's freaking out. Thank you guys again for watching. That's it for today, and I'll see you next time for some more Minecraft snapshots. Goodbye. Everyone's in love with Minecraft's new paddle boats. Even things that normally try to kill each other are happy to snuggle up in one of these beauties.